for reasons we've said, or angry at all the attention for the person and how they're being special. And so sometimes the siblings leave or do not speak to the person with an eating disorder. So trying to help repair that relationship is important, because siblings will be there for life, parents will die. So trying to get everyone understanding the illness, that's the first step. Understanding an eating disorder is hard for us as professionals, for the individual, but for families too. So, you know, it doesn't seem like a problem, just eat properly. It seems so simple. And so the understanding what it's about is hard. And so people expect that, you know, you should be able to get over it like you do a cold in a few weeks. The idea that it lasts for a long time and that it penetrates the individual and all aspects of their body and brain is difficult to understand. So one of the first steps is explaining to families, siblings, parents, what the illness is about. And because one of the problems with this illness is that the symptom, the not eating, the producing poor nutrition, damages the brain. The brain needs 500 calories a day to work efficiently. So the organ that is going to help you get over the illness is damaged by the illness. So it's like being in a hole with a spade, and they just keep digging, getting deeper and deeper into the illness. What they need to do is jump and shout. So parents need to catch them out of the hole. So that is the metaphor we use.
So the traps of the eating disorder, is this the message you want to pass tomorrow at the workshop? Yes,
well, I think the traps, and there's so many traps, yes, those are the things that happen very understandably, and we need people to understand eating disorders and understand how you can help, how you can pull out of the hole.
Tomorrow you're expecting more than 30 parents.
I understand so, yes.
40.
40. Do you think this is a success concerning the Greek situation?
Well, yes. I mean, I think perhaps, I mean, it shows the need in some ways. Having smaller groups so that people have opportunities is a good idea, and that will be able to happen. But to be efficient with me here just once, having a larger group, but it will, you know, we can't do it all in this one day, but Maria has the material, the books, and the slides and the DVDs, so because carers, we expect them to learn what we learn in psychological training over 6 years, you know, in 6 hours. So it does take time to understand and to develop the skills that will be helpful to get their daughter out of this problem.
Can you explain about the Maudsley method?
Well, the new Maudsley method, because there was an original Maudsley method for people who had a very acute illness. And what I'm describing here is the new Maudsley method, which is for people who've had a longer illness, so adults who are really stuck in that hole very deeply. And we know that when they're stuck in that hole, you need many tools to get them out, and a lot of understanding. So how this works is by explaining the hole and explaining how to stop being in that hole. So we teach the parents how not to be over-involved. We describe it as a kangaroo, putting the daughter in the pouch. So we do not do that. do not try to be a perfect parent doing everything. Sometimes you need to have time off and step away for a bit. Similarly, you don't have to be a rhinoceros saying you must eat, you must do this, or a terrier snapping, eat, eat, eat all the time at their heels. You have to sort of be calm and compassionate. We use metaphors of being a dolphin, just nudging, just being around, keeping safe, or a St. Bernard's, just being there, being warm and protecting, but not yapping loudly, getting an avalanche. So those are the metaphors we use of the emotion. And then we try to help them to see, in psychology we know that a behaviour can continue if it's rewarded, if there are positive things from it, or if it's not punished. So often they reward the bad eating disorder behaviours inadvertently. So for instance, this not learning to control emotions and needing your mum to drive you round and round and round, that in a way is rewarding not controlling your emotions yourself, because it's, you've got to come, you've got to have this special treatment, 4 hours with mum sort of thing. So and sometimes they give money for bingers, or they don't let anybody in the kitchen. They're the only ones who can have the kitchen. They have special plates, special cooking things. So all of those do reward the behaviour and allow it to continue. Or they don't let the natural punishments of the behaviour occur. So, for instance, they eat all the food, there's no food for breakfast. Instead of getting everybody angry and upset that there's no food, mum goes out and buys more food. Or, the drains are blocked with fat and because of vomiting and toilet not working. Instead of the girl seeing the plumber and the builder and explaining why their drainage is so bad, the mother or the father does that. So they protect them from some of the consequences, and maybe facing some of the consequences would impinge. So they're very understandable why the parents do it, but it just digs the hole deeper. So we teach them to watch out. Am I colluding? Am I contributing in some way, allowing this to happen? And then we teach them skills of listening, because it's very difficult when somebody is in two minds, and people with eating disorder are in two minds, and you need a special style of listening and understanding in order to help people move to a stage where they're more ready to change. And there is an intervention called motivational interviewing, which is helpful when people have mixed feelings. So we teach parents how to do that. And we find that parents are very good at learning these new skills. They're very motivated to do it, so they learn them. Particularly the fathers are good at this. Because often the fathers, I don't know if this is the case in Greece, but in England, the fathers usually are not so upset, distressed and anxious, so they can learn new things. The problem is, the parents, we find 50% of the parents are anxious and depressed. These illnesses stress you, they stop you sleeping, they disturb the family. So they get clinical levels of depression and anxiety. When you have clinical depression and anxiety, you don't cope and solve problems very well. So again, they're in a hole too. So everybody's in a hole.
It's a vicious circle.
Yes, exactly.
Your latest book is the first book concerning families of people with eating disorders.
Yes.
It's translated in Greek.
Yes. And it's written by, in fact she's a young doctor now, who had an